Welcome in to NFL Daily, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Week number 1 is in the books of free agency frenzy, but there's still plenty of top free agents out there. Who could your favorite team sign next? We'll go over the full list of the top 25 free agents that are still on the board coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, a reminder, we are your NFL offseason headquarters here at NFL Daily. We're talking all things free agency, trades, draft, and more. Stay up to date with the latest happenings across the National Football League with daily content you're not going to get anywhere else. The bosses want to know, can we get 20 subs off today's video? If we can get 20 subs off today's video, then we'll bring you even more content out of the channel. Prove the bosses wrong, show them that we can get the job done, and we'll get started with today's show. Justin Simmons, a free safety from the Denver Broncos, is the number 1 player on our list, and there's plenty of interest out there in Simmons to this point. Tyron Smith, the offensive tackle of the Dallas Cowboys, technically still a free agent, and that's the key, technically. He's expected to sign with the New York Jets. That's been going on the last couple days. Penn hasn't reached the dotted line just yet, but all signs point to him going to New York. Mike Williams at the wide receiver position was let go by the LA Chargers, but he's got plenty of suitors out there interested in his services. We'll see where he ends up. Mike Williams still looks like he has plenty left in the tank at this point. Then at number 4, we find Chase Young, the edge rusher from the San Francisco 49ers, former number 2 overall pick by the Washington Commanders, was traded at the trade deadline to San Francisco. And we've seen Chase Young look really good at times, and we've seen him look kind of mid and injury-prone too. What version of Chase Young is his next team getting? That remains to be seen. If you need a corner, might I present you Stephon Gilmore? If he does not return to the Dallas Cowboys, we're looking at the possibility of Stephon Gilmore playing for his 5th different team in the last 5 seasons, despite playing at a pretty high level over the last few years as well. So, we have given our names out of the best free agents on the market so far, our top 5. Who do you believe is the best free agent left on the market at this point in time? Well, in the comment section, drop me a name or two who you believe is the very best on our pinned comment today. Let us know what you think. Next on the list, we find Jadeveon Clowney from the Baltimore Ravens. Had a very good season in Baltimore with 9+ sacks this past season. He played on a pretty reasonable contract this past year, about $7 or $8 million. We'll see if he gets more money this go round. Then at 7, we find Quandre Diggs, who was released by the Seattle Seahawks. The multi-time Pro Bowler, has had a very good career, but last year had maybe the worst season of his career. He's looking to turn things around at his next location. Julian Blackmon on the list from the Indianapolis Colts. He's had a few visits here and there, still trying to find his potential next destination, one of a number of safeties that are available. The Miami Dolphins corner, Xavien Howard, also on this list. Howard was replaced by Kendall Fuller there in Miami, as he was seen as more of a fit for what the Dolphins are trying to do on that side of the ball. But Xavien Howard, still a very good playmaker. Another corner on the list, Tre'Davious White from the Buffalo Bills, is also available at this point in time, trying to find where he could potentially go. Number 11 in our top 25 countdown, we go to the offensive line. We find offensive tackle Trent Brown, who's been one of the few bright spots for the New England Patriots over the last couple of seasons on that offensive line, who's had a plethora of issues over the years. Trent Brown, you got to think, is looking to go to a better team than what he was on with New England. Calais Campbell, they say Father Time is undefeated, but he hasn't been able to beat Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell has been really good, even at this age, with a number of teams, most recently with the Atlanta Falcons, prior to that with the Baltimore Ravens, and Calais Campbell looking to still offer something to his next team, still a starter caliber player at this point in his career. Number 13 on our list, we find Adoree Jackson, the corner from the New York Football Giants, still trying to find his next home. Well, at 14, It's safety Jamal Adams, who was released by the Seattle Seahawks. And you look at Jamal Adams, he did not play a lot last year. He was banged up for much of the season. When he was on the football field, he was a bit of a liability for the Seahawks defense. Really struggled in coverage. He's going to be looking for a fresh start at his next location. Number 15, we go corner. That's where we find Steven Nelson, formerly of the Houston Texans. And the Texans have invested a lot this offseason, specifically in their defense. The most notable signing being Danielle Hunter. Probably unlikely that Steven Nelson finds his way back to Houston. 10 more names still to go in our top 25 countdown, but we want to hear from you guys. Who's a player that you would like to see your favorite team sign in NFL free agency, whether it's somebody on the list or somebody else out there that comes to mind? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know who you would like to see end up on your favorite squad. Next, we go to the running back position, and the running back market has been fascinating this offseason with big names like Saquon Barkley going to Philadelphia, Josh Jacobs to Green Bay, Derrick Henry to Baltimore. Speaking of Baltimore, J.K. Dobbins is still available at this point in time. Dobbins has struggled to stay healthy, but when he has been healthy, he's shown flashes of brilliance at times. Speaking of the Ravens, Kevin Zeitler also on the list, the offensive guard there from Baltimore. Very solid player, but Baltimore not in necessarily the market where they could afford to bring Zeitler back, and we've seen offensive guards throughout this free agency period get paid a lot. Connor Williams, one of the top-rated centers in the NFL, is available here in free agency. Although he is known as a very good blocker, he has struggled with snaps from time to time. Might be a possibility to move him to a guard position if need be. Jordan Fuller at safety for the LA Rams. He comes in at number 19 on our list. Well, Tyler Boyd, the wide receiver from the Cincinnati Bengals, comes in at number 20, one of the best receivers on this market. He was the number 3 receiver in Cincinnati. He's been consistently solid the last few seasons. He might work his way up to being a number 2 receiver on a wide receiver needy team potentially. Our final 5 include Micah Hyde, the safety from the Buffalo Bills, while T.R. Tart, the defensive tackle from the Houston Texans, comes in at 22. Offensive tackle Donovan Smith, the Super Bowl champion from the Kansas City Chiefs, comes in at number 23. Well, 24 is Odell Beckham Jr. OBJ, no BJ. Does your team want him? OBJ coming up off an up and down season, was injury riddled for much of 2023. How much does OBJ left have in the tank? And speaking of having stuff left in the tank, Michael Thomas, what does he still have to bring a team on the table? He comes in at number 25, rounding out our list of available free agents. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of NFL Daily for off-season coverage that you're not going to get anywhere else, specifically during free agency. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did, and we'll see you next time right here on NFL Daily.